Hi guys, and welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. So today's reading is for the zodiac sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn, this is your February 2015 month ahead general reading. So Capricorn, I have a feeling on this reading that this is a situation potentially for some of you guys where there is something that is potentially offered to you that you're confused about, or you're not kind of sure whether you really want to kind of take it or you really want to kind of run with it. There's something that suggests to me in this reading for some of you guys that potentially in February there's something that is kind of good that's coming in for you, but you're kind of like a little bit, I don't know whether it's fear, and I don't know whether it's kind of just sort of being on your guard, but well, not being on your guard as such, but there's something that suggests to me that this might be a work situation that's going on, that it might be a case of that some of you guys are stable where you are, and you're being recognised potentially for something, but you don't know whether you really want to sort of go with something else that's coming in, a promotion maybe. Being offered something potentially with a lot more remuneration or something like that, that potentially you're having time to kind of think about. And I'll show you why I say this, Capricorn. We have the Four of Wands and the Two of Wands. Now, as I always say, the number 4 in the tarot for me kind of always represents sort of stability, like stable structure or a stable way of thinking, or something that's a little kind of concrete, either in the way that someone's thinking or the way that someone's feeling, or that, you know, the 4 to me it symbolises something that is kind of set, that is kind of stayed, that is kind of like rooted, okay? It could be rooted in a thought pattern, it could be rooted in a structure. And you have, as I said, you've got the Four of Wands and the Two of Wands. And the Four of Wands always suggests to me a stable structure going on there, yeah? So with this card, usually, traditionally, it would sort of talk about, you know, marriage, or, you know, a really happy, stable, abundant, loving home life. You know, you look at this couple and they're really happy. There's a certain unity there. There's a unison going on, union. This is what this card suggests to me, the Four of Wands. But because we also know that it's rooted in ideas and it's rooted in kind of the career, work sector, just as like the Cups is rooted in our emotions and the Swords are rooted in our thoughts and logic and that type of thing. To me, this is just suggesting that there is some kind of stable structure that some of you guys are in February, okay? And potentially the Two of Wands next to it is even more kind of uplifting with this, because it just shows that you feel that you've got the world in your hands where you are, potentially in February. But also on the other hand, this could suggest that there is a new idea being explored within this particular structure. So I'm thinking to myself, potentially for some of you guys, there is some form of stable structure that you're in, okay? It's kind of like solid, it's kind of like rooted, you know? But there is an avenue within that stable structure that needs to be, or is yet to be, explored. I'm just looking down at the notes that I've made on this reading that I picked out that came to me. You know, this could suggest that with this Four of Wands that maybe you're looking at going into a venture with someone, okay? Because the Two of Wands can often signify partnership, okay? So sort of exploring a new venture with someone else. So potentially that could be going on with these two cards. Potentially it could be within this stable structure. For example, if it was an organisation that somebody is offering something to you, offering you another route within that organisation that you set out and explore, okay? A lot of planning that comes along with that. This Two of Wands talks about, I mean, we have the Ace of Wands, which is sort of the idea, And then the Two of Wands is the initial stages of that idea, okay? So it's like putting it into action, putting it into practice. And then you get the Three of Wands where you've built it up. There's been a lot of rewards sort of had from that manifestation, from that sort of initial progress, from that putting that idea into action. And then you're reaping the rewards in the Three of Wands, and you're building even further on that. But as I say, the Two of Wands is about progress being made with an idea. So potentially when I look at these two cards, it's suggesting to me that there is a stable structure. And I'm feeling that potentially for some of you guys, this is a work idea maybe. Could be, as I say, these are general readings, so they can relate to any area of your life. But when I do these readings, I always try and come up with a hypothetical idea of what I'm getting from the card. So it kind of puts you on, you know, gives you an idea of how the reading is formulated. So as I said, there's some sort of stable structure for some of you Capricorns in February going on here. And within that stable structure, potentially you're going on another path within that, okay? So this could be, you know, you're working in an organisation or a company, and, you know, you're being put on a different path within that company, okay? So a different job or something like that, moving into something else within that company. And to me, this was kind of backed up with the Six of Wands, the Victory card, okay? And the Victory card can also, the Six of Wands can always be about, I mean, this would usually be a card about sort of overcoming obstacles and being the victor in that. But I think in this reading, it's about being recognised, because this victor is recognised. You know, he's got the crowds behind him. He's got people who are kind of cheering him on. They're really pleased with whatever he's done, you know, whatever he's coming back from, they're really pleased with. So potentially it could be with these two cards that you're within a stable structure and you're being sort of put on a different route within that structure. It could be work. You're being put on a different path within work. People are recognising you for what you're already doing, okay? So potentially this could be a promotion that we're looking at for some of you guys in February. But something comes in here and it sets you thinking, and there's some kind of like toing and froing with this idea, I feel, with some of you guys. And it's because we've got the Moon card. And the Moon card is very much a card about uncertainty at times, okay? A little bit of confusion, you know, these highly intense feelings, okay? Kind of going almost inwards sometimes, kind of a feeling of, I don't know, your feelings swinging kind of back and forth. If I look at this card, there are two animals, two dogs, sort of howling at the moon. Okay, they're feeling that tension, they're feeling that kind of energy off the moon, and they're feeling, it's a sense of anticipation almost. And I think that's what some of you guys are going to be feeling with this thing, whatever it is. It's a sense of anticipation, a sense of kind of, I don't know whether it's dread, but it's almost dread for me when I look at this card. The Moon card, you know, if you think about a werewolf, that kind of, you know, someone who turns into a werewolf, you know, in the movies where you get vampires and werewolves and all this type of thing, and whenever a werewolf sees the moon, I think it turns, doesn't it? It turns into that werewolf. You know, that sense of kind of highly charged emotion. So I think around whatever this is that's going on for some of you guys in February, there will be some form of uncertainty, some form of anticipation around it, even anxiety in a way, because I think for me the Moon card does suggest anxiety as well. You know, when we have feelings of sort of high intensity, you know, intense emotions, to me that comes along with feeling a little bit anxious about something. So I feel whatever this direction is, whatever this thing is that comes in, that is offering you something else potentially within something that is already sort of rooted and structured and is stable, there is a little bit of fear around that. There is a little bit of anxiety around that potentially. And I feel that it is potentially for some of you guys within a work situation. But as I say, when you're looking at this reading, please apply it to whatever situation you're going through if it resonates, okay? It doesn't have to be work, but to me it's saying work. So I think there is some anxiety that's going on around this situation for some of you guys. The next two cards are the Page of Pentacles and the Emperor. And the Page of Pentacles always suggests to me the birth of something, a message, news coming in. Okay, so news arriving for you guys. This suggests to me the birth of, I don't know, a new endeavour, the start of a new project. An endeavour coming in, something new that will take time to build, but the rewards will be really good. And I think because we've got the Emperor card here, this could potentially be about you guys having to take control over your emotions with whatever it is that's coming in, because you're not in control with the Moon card. You're kind of, your intuition is there, but you're not kind of like following it. So you're kind of left in this state of feeling a little bit anxious about whatever this thing is that's coming for you. You kind of want to take it, but then you don't want to do it. And it's making you feel a slight sense of kind of anxiety around it, you know, a little bit intense around this idea of maybe a promotion that's coming in, or maybe, you know, maybe you feel that you can't do it. Maybe you're feeling safe and settled where you are with the Four of Swords. Sorry, the Four of Wands. And maybe you kind of know that you can do it with the Two of Wands. You know that you want to go and explore this avenue and go in this direction because somebody or something's noticed you. You know, you're being recognised for something, and someone's offering something else to you, potentially a promotion, potentially a way up the ladder, whatever this is. But you're feeling slightly confused around it, slightly, but it's an internal confusion. You see, I mean, you're not confused about what the offer is or whatever it is that's coming in that's wanting to, I suppose, advance you within that structure, but you're kind of feeling anxious about that, anxious at being advanced in it. And to me, this suggests a sense of, can I do it or can't I do it? Am I good enough to do it? This venture is still here for you. This news that's come in for you is still here. You know, and it's offering some form of a reward. And potentially with the Emperor card, you need to take control of your emotions, you know. Take control and kind of put things in order for yourself. But also this Emperor card suggests large organisations or an organisation. So potentially it could be with the Wands card, this organisation that some of you guys are in. Okay? It could be this authority figure that's offering you this particular role, or this new way, or this new direction. And you're just not sure about it. But this Page of Pentacles card is also saying that you need to kind of, it's time to progress with these aims. It's time to look at your life realistically. The Emperor card is there's so many meanings to it. The Emperor is very much in control of his kingdoms, you know. He knows about his business, he's kind of solid, you know. So maybe it's time for you guys to be solid, okay? And not to be so afraid. And at the same time, this can represent someone who comes in and who kind of gives you that guidance that you need. Potentially the person who's offering something to you. But we still have you feeling a little bit inward. There's, you know, you're still contemplating potentially whether you want to go with something or not, because we've got the Hermit here. So you're feeling kind of, I suppose, alone in your decision making potentially. You're potentially feeling kind of like you're on your own with this one. And you're trying to find the answer. If we look at the Moon card here, there's a light here as well. This is about trying to find that light. You've got your intuition there, but you're kind of not letting it guide you, sort of thing. And to me, the Moon card is saying, let your intuition guide you. Let this path that you're on here guide you, and let the Moon guide your path. Let the Moon guide the way. We have the chaos of the dogs around the path, but the path is clear. So you just need to follow that path, as far as I'm concerned with this reading. Relinquish the feelings of anxiety and worry. You need to think about it a little bit more before you make a choice with the Hermit. But whilst the Hermit is walking through and thinking in solitude, in quiet, there's a little bit more chaos around the Moon card, and you need to be more like, if you're going to think about what you want to do, you need to be less chaotic and less intense and less anxious, and more kind of like take your time and just think about it. So a lot of you guys, I believe, well, potentially will be feeling a little bit inward about this, okay? We have the Emperor here who is looking to the side. It's funny. It's so funny. He's not looking straight ahead, but he's looking to the side. It's almost like this is you, in a way. You're feeling a little bit naive about this opportunity. But we've still got the Emperor looking at you. He's still looking at this naive person, this person who feels a little bit green, a little bit out of their depth in a way. But he's looking over at you, you know. He's saying, come on, make a choice. Do you want to do this or not? So the Page of Pentacles is here. And you're kind of like, yeah, I do, but then I'm not sure. And you're still feeling kind of inward here. So you need time to make that choice. You need time to make that choice. So I feel that some of you guys will be going inward, and you will be kind of like feeling that you need to take a little bit of time to make a choice. But then the final card is the Ace of Pentacles. And again, this is a card about new beginnings. This card really talks about being successful in a new venture. Prosperity, material gains. The beginning of a successful endeavour that's going to bring you really good rewards, Capricorn. So I feel that potentially in February for some of you guys, that this card is saying that if you go for whatever this situation is, it's going to bring you in some form of a reward. There will be prosperity with it. So to recap on the reading, we have to start off with that there is a stable structure that you guys are in. You're feeling stable, you're feeling kind of like okay about where you are. But within that structure there's some form of offer being made, some sort of offer to explore something. And for some of you guys, you could be feeling that the world is your oyster with this. You could be feeling quite victorious with the Six of Wands, quite good about it. You're being offered something, potentially a promotion, or, you know, a way to advance potentially within the career ladder, because we do have a lot of Wands cards here. We've got 3 Wands card in a reading of 8 cards. You know, so potentially you could be feeling kind of like really good about that. But then there's a little bit of fear and anxiety around it. You're feeling a little bit green around it, a little bit young, a little bit naive potentially with the Page of Pentacles, but it's a good idea. The Emperor card. Potentially this could be someone in authority who's making this offer to you, this kind of idea, presenting this idea to you. Someone who's quite in control, someone who knows how to guide people. Or potentially this card is saying that you need to be the Emperor, you need to take control over it. This idea, this decision. Potentially this Emperor card could represent an organisation that you're already in. The Hermit card is you guys still going inward. You need to take time out in quiet contemplation to decide what you want to do, to make the right choice for you. But then we have the Outcome card in February as being the Ace of Pentacles, whereby this idea, whatever it is that's potentially being suggested to some of you guys, that it's going to be really good because it's going to give you a lot of prosperity and rewards. And potentially some of you, there's a new beginning with this for some of you guys. So potentially if you go for it, it would be a really good thing. So I think February is going to be a time of contemplating potentially for some of you Capricorns. Contemplating on which way to go. Sort of getting rid of the anxiety and fear surrounding something that potentially that is offered to you. You might be feeling naive and young about it, but then you need to potentially take control and take the bull by the horns. That's an absolutely lovely reading, Capricorn, and please let me know, guys, if anything resonates with you in that reading. But these are a good set of cards. I'd just like to say, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this reading, Capricorn. Hope you're having a really good year so far, and I will see you on your next reading which will be your March 2015 general reading.